Welcome to the Q&A with the Noble 24th Reenactor Group. Here we have one of our newest members, John. Thank you for being here today. So we're going to cut right into it. Out of all the hobbies that you do, what is it that drew you to reenacting specifically?
Yeah, so I grew up in central New York, near Oswego, which has Fort Ontario, historic site. So I spent a lot of time as a kid going out there and watching the reenactments. And this area was huge in kind of the Revolution, the French Indian War, and then War of 1812. This area played key roles in all of them. So kind of colonial American history and then early American history has always been something that I've been particularly interested in. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to get into this once I had the chance.
Now, what is it specifically about this colonial period then that gets your interest in it?
Yeah, well, I think that for me, as an appreciator of the arts, I'm always about learning about the other side, like the other narrative, the other side of the story, right? We hear in high school about the, brave patriots that took to Lexington Green and, fought the #1 army in the world, and like how they win, we don't know. That's crazy. But I've always been interested in kind of what's the other side of the story. So learning more about the actual story of the American Revolution and how the ragtag group of, very, very smart people ended up seceding from at the time, one of the strongest empires in the world. So that's particularly interesting to me because that kind of political, social upheaval is something that is still relevant today because we see it all over the world. So it's definitely it's good to understand those perspectives now so that we don't find ourselves with, unnecessary bloodshed now.
And now, how did you specifically come to join the 24th then?
Yeah, so I moved to Saratoga Springs in 2018, and I knew that once I got kind of settled here, this was something that I wanted to explore. And so I kind of looked into groups that did reenacting in the area. I knew that I wanted to participate in a British regiment because, like I say, that's the other side of the story that people don't really look into or get taught. So I knew that that's what I wanted to live because I wanted to learn about it. And really, the 24th was the most active in the area. And again, they were here. So they participated in Burgoyne's campaign and then ended up being captured at the Battle of Saratoga. So I was like, well, this is great. They're a local unit, and the unit actually fought here. So you really can't beat that.
So from your extremely limited experience in the hobby, only being one event that you're able to come out with before the pandemic hit, what was the best thing about reenacting?
I really appreciated how much everybody was willing to help out the guy that literally had no idea what he was doing. I kept asking before I showed up to the event, hey, is there anything I should learn? Is there anything I should prepare before I get here so I don't look like a total, rube out there? And everybody was like, nope, just show up. You'll have a great time. And they were all super friendly, super welcoming. They really wanted me to be a part of it and have a good time and enjoy myself so that I could see kind of what it was like. But they were also really good teachers. So I learned in one day so much more than I probably would have after months of independent research online. So it was a great experience, and that was what brought me back.
And now, following that up, is there anything that you found that just wasn't enjoyable about reenacting at all?
Not in that very limited experience. I could see how doing events in the early spring or late fall when it's kind of cold could be kind of unpleasant weather-wise. But this particular day was gorgeous in mid-70s. It was a beautiful early October day, so it was really nothing to complain about.
So being so new in the 24th, what is the experience in a few short, in a nice compact little way of explaining it? What is the experience of joining a unit?
Yeah, so you gotta come into it with an open mind, ready to learn, and just ready to have a good time. Because at the end of the day, it's a hobby. It's not meant to be a job or something that you stress out about. So if you show up willing to learn, kind of with an open mind for whatever's going on and ready to have fun, you will have all of those things, and it'll be a very rewarding experience for you.
And now in that joining, obviously there's a lot of demand that is made to get the proper uniform, the proper weapons, anything that you need. What has been your experience of doing it in 2019, 2020, of properly outfitting yourself?
Yeah, so I would say at this moment, I have probably maybe somewhere between a third and 2/3 of the full kit assembled. And that's taken me about 1.5 years to do. So it takes a while. It's not going to happen overnight. But when I showed up for this first event that I participated in, I didn't own anything. And the unit just kind of lent me all of the stuff, and they just happened to have some uniform items that fit me perfectly. So that was great. And then as the year has gone on with the pandemic, it's actually been super helpful because I haven't really had to worry about borrowing loaner equipment, because I've had the time to purchase my own stuff at an increment where it's not breaking the bank, because I'm spreading out all of the stuff over the span of 1.5 years instead of really, really soon. So I would say that the financial aspect is an aspect, but just go slow. There's no pressure really to hurry through the kit forming process. And the unit has been incredibly flexible with how fast I've accumulated all the stuff. Like if I said, well, hold up, I think I need to save some money before I invest in this thing, they would have been totally okay with that. So it kind of is go at your own pace, go what you're comfortable with. Obviously, don't start investing the huge sums of money if you know that you're not going to be able to do it, because it's kind of a waste at that point. But yeah, it's been pretty low maintenance for me.
And now, as a final question, being so fresh into this, how would you advise someone who's following in your steps?
Yeah, so I would say that probably the most important thing is to find a unit that really jives with you. So I'm currently serving in the Navy. I'll be getting out here in July. So when I looked for a reenacting unit, I was kind of looking for the same esprit de corps and camaraderie that I've experienced in my actual military service. And the 24th has had that. So you really want to find a unit that is going to share your kind of personal goals and ideals, and also understand where their reenacting perspective is. Some units are a little bit more, we have to be 100% authentic all the time, and we can never really do anything, modern and anachronistic. And some are just like, we show up and drink beer all the time, which is great if you want to do that, but you just got to know that that's what's going to happen when you do it. So really understanding the unit and understanding the people that are in it and what their goals are and what their mission is and what they want to do as an organization, and making sure that you align with those values and those principles is probably the most important thing.
Okay, and as a quick little bonus question, what would you say your favorite color is?
It actually is red, which had no bearing on joining a British unit, but it helps a lot because I look pretty good in it. So,
well, thank you here. John Emery here is a private in the 24th. As I said, he is one of our newest members. And if you are also interested in following his footsteps, you can easily contact us through all the channels that we have, be it website, YouTube, or Facebook. And John, we will see you in the fields.